go. Thank you. Just keys back.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to see you. I'm super excited to kind of share with you where we've come with our I Am Carson River Watershed campaign. Again, I'm Brenda Hunt. I'm the Watershed Program Manager with the Carson Water Sub-Conservancy District. I'm super excited to be here in person. CWSD, as people have talked about, works with our education and outreach CRC group. And we also work with just people in the community getting out there. So we do a variety of things, but the thing that we have been doing, especially during the pandemic, is working on this I Am Carson River Watershed campaign, which is a lot of different videos and through a social media, I guess, platform. So I'm not going to cover what I cover. I'm not going to go into big details about the history of this campaign, because I did that last year, and that talk is recorded and available on our Carson River Watershed YouTube page, so you can go there if you want more information about the history and to watch some of the initial films that we did. So I'm going to briefly go through some of our campaign assets and just a little bit of the history right now. So when this began, we did work with our Carson River Education Working Group, through this watershed literacy process. And the folks that Shane was talking about, they were instrumental in getting this campaign off the ground. So the multiple brainstorming sessions culminated into a watershed literacy action plan that was adopted by CWSD in April 2015. And then we conducted that plan, called for a watershed-wide survey to be conducted. So in June of 2015, we did conduct a watershed-wide survey. That survey was done through phones, both landline and mobile phones. And we got a statistically relevant sample and went forward with that baseline information was jointly funded by NDEP and CWSD. So that's important to know that they've been our funding partners throughout this whole campaign. So the baseline survey also was completed by our contractor, Responsive Management, and they followed up with a communications and marketing plan in 2016. So using that information from the survey and the meetings that we had, we've completed several projects, including some watershed signage, updating of our physical and online maps, watershed maps, and then in 2019, we launched the I Am Carson River Watershed campaign. And this came from all of these people's great ideas and working on what kind of assets do we need to create. So I'm going to quickly run through some of those assets. We hired Neon Agency. They've been our partner in working with this campaign. They're an agency out of Reno. So, and number 5, that is still to come. Those are some of the next steps that we're going to be talking about later in this presentation. So just to quickly run through, we got the plan together in 2015, and then we did the survey. The overarching recommendations out of the survey and the marketing and communications plan were to connect residents' health and the quality of life to the health of the watershed. And then we looked at these specific messages that you see there, and we've tried to create films or videos that are in line with this messaging. There was a ton of other recommendations that came out, and those will be kind of worked on as we move forward. But these were the overarching kind of larger core messages. Oops. So we did the physical map, we've done the online map, we created a Spanish version of both our physical and our online map. There's an example of the signage that we've created. The online map has these great pins on it, and you can get information off them. You can find a picture, and then it'll tell you a little bit about each one of the pins. So we have like history and and different, just specific geographical locations as well. So we created and assets for our I Am Carson River Watershed campaign that we're trying to make them kind of iconic, similar to our our neighbors who have the Keep Tahoe Blue. We really wanted something that everybody would recognize and be able to use. So this messaging, it's really important. I don't know why it keeps moving. I think it's on a timer. So sorry. This messaging is really important that you all help us. So this little gift that we've created, which is also the front of our sticker, that's something that each of you can use to connect to our splash page, which I'm going to go into more detail about here in a second. This is a sticker. They're on the back, on the table in the back. If you are interested in grabbing more, I'm starting to see these on people's cars and on people's water bottles and laptops and that type of thing around the watershed. So we're really trying to make this something that everybody has access to. On the back of the sticker, it does tell you a little bit about specific actions that each of us can take. And so these were our introductory icons that we've created. And since then, we've created a lot more. So I'm going to talk about those in a second here. So the initial videos, I'm not going to show those to you today because I think a lot of you have seen them, was a walk through the watershed. And that's about a 2.5-minute film that goes through all kinds of locations throughout the watershed. And then we also did Water Connects Us All, which really looked at the diversity in our community and how water, the Carson River watershed, is the source of our drinking water. So this is our campaign splash page. It's actually the scrolled down version of our campaign splash page. So the top part is the film, and the latest one right now that's on there is the Use a Car Wash one. That's why we've got the neon colors and the soap. But that's actually the film. And then you scroll down and you come to all these different icons. So sorry, it is on a timer. I don't know why. I didn't know it was on that. So all of these different icons have been created to show people the specific actions that they can take to help with water quality in the Carson River watershed. So we're really, really wanting, it's kind of driving me crazy. We're really, really wanting our partners to help direct people to this page so that they can see that there are simple actions that everybody can take. So the highlights are, we've already got you see the little red play arrow, those are icons that have films already associated with them. So the Water Connects Us All has a film. Explore Your Watershed is what we're actually using the walk through the watershed for that. And then we have the Bag It, Recycle Your Motor Oil, and Use a Car Wash films created. We have a couple more coming out, and I will talk about those in a second. You can also see that we have a link to a pledge, which I'll talk about in the next slide, as you just got previewed, and the press kit. And also you can click more, and that takes you to the CWSD website. The Espanol button takes you right now to the specific film that we have, so Use a Car Wash, and that film has Spanish subtitles. Eventually, we're going to have a little bit more going on with that Espanol button, so I'll get to that in a sec. So if you haven't taken the Watershed Pledge, now you know where the button is to click on it to take. We have a Google form, and it's pretty simple to go through, and it really helps not only kind of gauge how we're doing, the more people that take it, but it also is a commitment. Once people take a pledge, they're kind of committed to doing the actions that they said they would do. So it's pretty simple. The Bag It one says, I will pick up my pet's waste in my backyard, neighborhood, and on the trail and dispose of it properly. Use a car wash. I'll use a car wash instead of, washing my car in my driveway. So all my, the surfactants and everything else that's on your car don't just go right down the storm drain. And each one has specific actions that people can take. So we'd really love it if all of you could take a minute and actually take that pledge, and then share that information again with all your neighbors and your associates. So also with this campaign, we've been doing, our regular media. We've been doing social media as well as our regular media. So we created a press kit on our website, and as you can see, it has just the four kind of the overarching campaign resources, as well as the individual for each film that we've put out in January, February, and March of this year. The press kit has things like the icon. It has access to pictures and stills from the videos, as well as maybe even photos that we took while we were filming. And then links to, we've been doing press releases and links to just if you wanted to access it through YouTube individually as well. So all of that is on CWSD's website, and we update that per launch of our Watershed Moments, which I'll get into in a couple seconds here. So let's get to those. So these, basically, we're going to be doing a watershed moment for everything else that's on this screen, all the different icons that are on this screen. They're basically short PSAs. They're about a minute long that target specific actions that we can all take. We're trying to make these films really fun and informative, as well as motivating. I mean, we're really hoping that they're motivating. We're also planning to, we've been asking on the Bagot one, because that was really simple, to ask people to kind of send in their watershed moment. So having, more interaction with this through social media with folks, so that we can kind of get a gauge again, how are we doing, and are they motivated to take these actions? We've been doing a few giveaways as well. But we're really just now trying to expand our reach, and through social media, that's what the focus is. So we're boosting our posts on Facebook and Instagram, and really gaining traction with the social media audience. So let's show you a few of the films. So this is the Bagot film. This came out in January. This was our inaugural Watershed Moment.
Hi, my name is Felicia Patterson, and I'm the owner and operator of Sierra Canine Academy, and this is my watershed moment. Dog waste isn't just a hazard on the bottom of your shoes. Yuck. It's one of the many seemingly small sources of pollution that can add up to big problems for our water quality and even human health. Animal waste contains two main types of pollutants that harm local waters: nutrients and pathogens. These pollutants make local waters unswimmable and unfishable, and can cause severe illness in people and pets. The Carson River watershed's nearly 16,000 dogs creates almost 12,000 pounds of poo daily. Now that's a lot of poo, people. Please bag it, whether it's in your backyard or on the trail, to keep our rivers, lakes, and streams free of these pollutants. I am Carson River Watershed, and you are too.
Okay, that was really fun to film. I didn't get to go to that film day, but Shane did, and he said the dogs were just amazing, and she had such control over them. It was crazy, just really enjoyable, especially the little, which one was the Rottweiler? Okay, this is our next one, recycle your motor oil. And again, this was really fun to film. They were such characters, these two guys, and the cars were amazing.
Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my watershed moment. I really love cars, especially my classic Mustang. I also love where I live and care about the health of my neighbors, so I always recycle my used motor oil by taking it to a shop or the local waste management facility. Because when oil is poured on the ground or down storm drains, it flows untreated into our rivers, lakes, and streams. It contaminates our water and soil and kills fish, plants, and wildlife. Here is an oiler alert. A single gallon of oil can spoil 1 million gallons of water. 1 million. It's time to pump the brakes on that. Let's recycle our motor oil and keep our rivers, lakes, and streams clean. I'm Carson River Watershed, and you are too.
Okay. And then our third one that we just launched this month is the Use a Car Wash one. And again, this one was really fun to film. We had some very, very happy kids who genuinely, I mean, they were just amazingly, genuinely loved the car wash. And the families that have helped in all of these films just been super special, and we appreciate them because they're doing it for free. They volunteered.
Hi, I'm Genevieve, and this is my Watershed Moment. I love car washes, don't you? It always feels kind of magical going through one. I always imagine a huge octopus is trying to get me. Well, I'm here to tell you that not only are car washes fun, but not washing cars in our driveways can really help improve our water quality. When we wash our cars at home, the hose uses an average of 100 gallons or more of water. The runoff water then becomes wastewater mixed with soaps, road acids, brake dust, and other harmful contaminants that go straight into our water supply. Go to a full or self-serve car wash rather than washing your car, truck, RV, or boat at home. The water used there is clean and recycled. And of course, let me know if the octopus does get you. I am Carson River Watershed, and you are too.
Okay, so I have a sneak peek that you guys are going to get to see. We have filmed another one, and it's a Promote Pollinators one, and our star is actually here today. And so we're going to show it, but this is actually going to be launched in June because Carson City has a bee-friendly campaign going, and that's their pollinator month is in June, and so we're gonna launch this at that time, but you guys get to see a sneak peek.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and this is my Watershed Moment. I love bees, and I host the annual Bee City Pollinator Parade in Carson City. Pollinators are magical creatures that are a key to a thriving and healthy watershed. Did you know these amazing critters are responsible for 1/3 of every bite of food we consume? And without pollinators like bees, we'd have to say goodbye to coffee, chocolate, and even peaches. Now that would really sting. You can help pollinators by growing native flowering plants in your garden and curbing your chemical use. Native plants are beautiful and adapted to our climate, so typically use less water. Pesticides kill bees, butterflies, and other pollinators and can contaminate our groundwater, rivers, lakes, and streams. So be a honey, plant flowering natives, and curb your chemical use to protect our pollinators and our local waters. I am Carson River Watershed, and you are too.
So we've actually changed the icon on that one. Since we've created a curb your chemical use that's going to be more about, chemicals and labels and storing them properly and that type of thing. And then we're actually using the B one as to promote pollinators. So that's gonna change that back end of it. But I hope you like those. And we have another one coming out. We're working on it right now. It's Foster Healthy Soil, and that's going to be our next Watershed Moment that comes out in April. So what's next? We're going to be working on a Spanish splash page. So that Espanol button is going to go to a similar splash page that's going to have icons that are in Spanish, and the films that we've created. So our walk through the watershed is also in Spanish because Vanessa Vancouver was bilingual. So when we filmed, we did both. And since then, we've been doing a lot of just subtitling with Spanish subtitles. We are hoping to do another, in-person Spanish one in the future. We're thinking Recreate Responsibly or something along those lines coming up, where we'll use another Spanish-speaking person to do both films. So the other thing that are going on is we're really working to continue to ask partners to place our little GIF and then access to the splash page, so everybody on their websites can get access to this as well. We're continuing our social media blitz. So once a month, we are launching these films, and it has everything that goes with it. So we put all our assets on the press in the press kit. We create basically a press release and everything that goes with that, all the pictures. And we've been working with Neon to really get that out, and we've seen a lot of great results. We've also seen sometimes some very weird comments that we've had to address, and people that sometimes they're really interesting questions that we can respond to right away, and other times we kind of get these, we call them grumpy pants people, who basically are more the kind of people who are just on there just to create issues, and so we have to be extremely nice and answer them, and but we are trying to really answer everybody. We've only had to, I think, hide one comment that was somebody was using expletives. But otherwise, I mean, mostly it's been very favorable. We haven't had anything too bad. So the watershed moments that are coming up right now, we're going to be doing, like I said, in April, the Foster Healthy Soil. In May, we're going to relaunch the Walk Through the Watershed for our Explore Your Watershed video. June, we're going to be doing the pollinator one that you just all got to see. And then in July, we're hoping to do Recreate Responsibly. August, Stop Weeds in Your Tracks. September, Make Your Yard a Sponge. October, Pitch In. And November, Curb Your Chemical Use. And then December, Engage in Your Watershed. And then hopefully we're going to do a compilation film. That's the idea of all of these things, and try to get something like that together as well. And that would come out probably in January or something along those lines of 2023. And then finally, that fifth step that we talked about is we want to go back out and resurvey the watershed. So we're looking, and this is subject to funding, but 2023, 24, we'd like to resurvey the watershed and just see how we're doing. Have we made a difference over the last, it will nearly be 10 years, 9 to 10 years in doing this whole campaign and getting people on board. And so that's our biggest thing. And then post that survey, we'll be updating our Watershed Literacy Action Plan and moving forward. So I think the best thing about this is that these assets are really, I think that they'll last for a while. We'll be able to use them in our social media and kind of keep reintroducing them again and again. And these are all yours. So these are not just CWSD's assets. These are the Carson River Coalition's assets. And so we really, really want all of you to be using these so that we're having consistent messaging, and we're all, I think, going to benefit from the potential future water quality benefits from, hopefully people learning and being able to take simple actions. Because I think one of the important things that the survey showed us is that people are disconnected. They don't think they can do anything to help the watershed. And these messages are to show them that they can take steps, and that they're simple and they're a part of their everyday life. So that's what we're really hoping. So with that, if you have any questions to ask us, I've got my team here too to help me answer any questions. This is all of our contact details, and again, this will be up, I think, in the next week or so on our YouTube, and we'll send it out to everybody probably via the CRC e-blast. So yeah, let me know if anybody has any questions.